I'm a lonely Goomba, stuck between two pipes. Well, guess I'll keep on gaming for the rest of my life. Crash Bandicoot, pretty good. Crash Bandicoot, Cortex Strikes Back, really quite good indeed. Crash Bandicoot Warped, this one might actually be my favourite. And finally, Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. This is a game. Much like our buddy Spyro, the original developers of Crash no longer had the license, and Crash was handed over to Traveller's Tales, who up to this point had developed such classics as Sonic R and fan favourite Rascal, a game so good it got a whopping 2 out of 10 on IGN. Sounds like a good choice to handle one of gaming's biggest franchises to me. This was also the first Crash game to be released on multiple consoles, and they all have their own little unique features. The Gamecube could link up with the GBA to play a little minigame. The Xbox version had these weird fur effects. Ooh, so fuzzy. And last but not least, the PS2 version had, terrible loading times. That's a feature, right? With a new developer at the helm. People were nervous, and quite rightfully so. I mean, one of the trailers did have an inappropriate joke about Crash's little sister.
Hey, stop playing with my sister.
He totally just winked at the screen. Yes, sick bastards. You Traveller's Tales, you heard me. It took 18 years, but someone is finally calling you out. But what about the actual game? Well, the game starts off with perhaps the most unnecessarily long opening cutscene I think I've ever seen. It takes almost 10 minutes to actually start the bleeding game. No one wants to watch poorly animated minions whinging about Crash Bandicoot for 20 minutes, mate. They got better things to do with their time. I think they worried way too much about the scenario making sense when really, no one cares. Now, what they should have been worried about are these character models. What the fuck happened here? I swear the original PS1 games look better than this. Tiny looks like he's suffering from a brain aneurysm. Entropy looks like he's just come from an episode of Botched. And Cortex, well, actually, he's looking pretty spiffy. Looks like he had some work done on his teeth. Damn, son, those are some immaculate pearly whites you got there. I'm actually jealous. You know, maybe I should brush my teeth once in a while, actually. Starting to look a little bit piss yellow down there, you know. But yeah, this goes on for feckin' ever. So let's summarise, shall we? Cortex has a secret weapon, but in order to power up, he needs the help of an elemental mask. So Uka Uka frees the mask. Then Aku, who is also a mask, shows up and tells Uka he don't goof, but he doesn't care. And then we need to stop them before they destroy the Earth. But the only way to beat them is to collect the crystals, and Coco just so happens to have built a teleporting device. So we go inside it, and then Cortex pops up to a holographic head for some reason. And the secret weapon is actually another genetically modified Bandicoot who wants to kill us and seemingly doesn't have any connection to the elemental mask. But who cares, because we don't actually need to get over crystals, we need to get over gems, so none of this really matters anyway. Did you get all that? Well, if not, you can just go back and watch it again. For real though, feel free to rewatch it, because I really need that extra watch time, so I'm struggling, chaps. I'm struggling here. Well, anyways, let's start the first level, shall we? And it's a nice level. I know there's no laws about opening levels, but a nice level. Really. I feel like every unwritten rule of Crash Bandicoot has just been broken and nothing will ever be the same again. But how's the actual level? Well, honestly, spoilers, but it's probably one of the best in the game, which is probably why they decided to put it as the first level. You got penguins, seals, narwhals, skiers, even got some big old woolies. Quite a lot of variety, even if most of it is just lifted from the previous games. I think the only thing missing at this point is that polar bear. There's even some decent platforming here. Basically, regardless of the rest of the game, I have to admit, this level is good. So, it makes perfect sense to follow that up with a flying level. A flying level in which the sound plays the entire time. What even is that? I'm so confused. Sometimes it gets so loud, I feel like the game is progressively getting more pissed off, and it's about to punch me in my face. Just take my wallet and leave me alone. Just don't hurt me, please. So, after slowly shooting down all these machines, it's time for the next level, and we're in a ball. Why are we in a ball? To be fair, it's not a terrible ball, but why? Were the developers just a big fan of Monkey Ball or something? I mean, they did go on to make Super Monkey Ball Adventure 5 years later, so guess they were trying to get some ball experience on the resume, eh? But hold up a sec. We're 3 levels in, and so far, we've only spent a few minutes actually playing as Crash. It's like the game's scared of being boring, so it just keeps throwing in new concepts. Comes off as a bit insecure. But there's no need, because the next level is a traditional Crash level, and it's pretty solid. Granted, it does feel like a scrap level from Crash 3, but this dragon's pretty cool. I like it. On to the next level, and oh yeah, sometimes the masters come up and threaten us. Well, kind of.
Oh, I'm gonna shake, rattle, and roll your Bandicoot butt.
Ha! Gay!
Right, so the next level, and of course, Crash is in a minecart now. I mean, it's not like I bought this Crash game to play as Crash, so it's fine. You don't really have to do much, and it looks kinda cool, I guess. And luckily, the second part of the level is actually platforming. Only, it's pretty bad. I mean, I understand bigger is better and all that, but these levels are so wide, you can literally just walk past everything. If you thought Goombas were useless minions, at least we actually walk side to side, which is more than I can say about these guys. Yep, just keep throwing that bottle. I'm sure you'll hit someone with it one day. But really, I shouldn't be too hard on them. They do look pretty feckin' depressed as it is. Cheer up, love. First boss then, and Crunch comes up to give us a little talk. And Jesus Christ, those have got to be some of the worst eyebrows I've ever seen. Feckin' blurry ass, glitching through his eyes, and somehow wrapping around the top of his head. What a piece of crap. How do you fuck up eyebrows this badly? Absolutely terrible. So the boss, and we in that bleeding ball again. You know, that thing we've only touched once, and now the game expects us to fight a boss in it. But how do you win? Well, you gotta smack your balls against these balls till the balls turn blue, and then the blue balls smack into Crunch's ball. But be careful, because Crunch's ball is trying to smack against your blue balls and turn them orange so they smack into your ball instead. It's all a bit, balls. And after beating the first boss, we get the first power up in the game. And incidentally, the only new one in the game. Sneak shoes. Now, you can slowly walk on top of nitro boxes. Exciting! I'm sure this will be fun in the 3 times it ever comes up in the game. Now, this is true innovation, chaps. But it's time for World 2, and after all this time, we've finally got a proper jungle level. And if you thought these guys were incompetent, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just check out these buggers. We're not even trying at this point. And what even are these things? Little pink creatures with stripy green pants? It is very bizarre. See, the issue with this level is, it's just super wide and empty with some crates scattered about. There's really not any platforming or anything. It's literally just a flat, empty corridor. But being the Wrath of Cortex, we can't go a level or 2 without shoving in a vehicle section, so let's get in this Jeep and drive away from some rhinos. Jumanji! Next level, and we're introduced to the first water level in the game. And I'm not kidding, the water levels in this game are probably the worst I've ever seen. When you're playing as Crash, it ain't too bad. It controls well, you can swim quick, attack easily, it's not bad. But being Wrath of Cortex, we can't have that, can we? Get that Bandicoot in a vehicle immediately. Introducing the Yellow Submarine, a slow, clunky, unresponsive, chunky boy that gets destroyed in one hit with the slightest touch. Now that wouldn't be a huge issue, but these water levels, man. For some reason I thought it would be a good idea to spam these mines everywhere. Half the time you can't even see them coming before it's too late. What should have been a power trip blasting the shit out of everything with torpedoes instead becomes an anxious tiptoe through the ocean as you slowly crawl forward, expecting a mine just to show up and blast a hole in your face. And dear lord, doing these levels again for the time relics, ugh. To be fair though, can't say we wasn't warned.
Leave my levels alone!
If only I'd listened to this crazy bone looking chap earlier. Next level, and for the first time in a Crash game, we get to play as Coco in a platforming stage. How progressive, girl power and all that. Problem is, it's not really progressive when you consider she plays worse than Crash in every single way. Instead of a slide, you got this weak ass kick, can barely spin, can't even use your abilities like double jump. Girl power my arse, she bloody sucks. However, this level is actually really great. The enemies are actually in your way. There's concise platforming. It looks pretty, and you know, this is really good stuff. It's even got a little cool top-down section like Zelda. Best level so far, and it doesn't even have Crash in it. Next level does though, and we're flying on a weird bug thing in which you have to shoot down warships. What the hell is this? Just listen to this for a moment. It's a fucking mess. Sounds like World War III's kicking off out there, and the level itself is absolutely miserable. Unlike previous flying levels, you have to slowly lock onto a target and then let go to shoot, a process that takes so long you'll either find yourself playing it incredibly safe or just missing the shot entirely. Probably the worst level so far. I guess the level title seems suitable for this one, that sinking feeling of buyer's regret. So of course, they follow that clusterfuck of a level with another bleeding submarine stage. And it's still terrible, and they're still bullshit mines. Only this time, we're put them behind walls now, so you have to be twice as cautious. Just when you thought you could have fun and get a bit cocky, nope. Mine to the face. At least this level does have some Crash platforming towards the end. And by platforming I mean some of the most precise platforming in the entire game. Seriously, this is only World 2, yet we've gone from barely touching Crash to precise box jumping. It's not bad, and Crash does control quite well, but it's just a bit of an odd difficulty curve. Also, we do get to do this again. Absolutely exhilarating. And that's World 2. Just to recap, Level 1 had us driving a jeep, Level 2 had us in a submarine, Level 3 had us play as Coco, Level 4 had us flying in a weird bug thing, and Level 5 had us in a freaking submarine again. His name is Crash Bandicoot, not sit on your arse Bandicoot. He needs to stretch his legs. Next level you'll probably see him in a mobility scooter at this rate. Well anyways, time for the second boss, and this time it's Wawa, the Water Mask. Not the most threatening name ever, but whatever. At least he doesn't have these fucking terrible eyebrows. I mean, come on man, what the hell are those? So the boss, and I've heard some people say this boss is easy, but honestly, I think it's probably the hardest one in the game. You got 4 rounds of dodging attacks whilst jumping across platforms, and each section introduces a new attack. It can get quite tricky. It's pretty much the only time you have to crouch in the entire game too. But hey, at least we're not in a submarine or some shit. It's an okay boss, but I can see some people getting frustrated with it. Next world, and we're greeted with the voice talents of Mark Hamill himself, Mr. Luke Skywalker in a Crash game.
Is it getting hot in here? Is it safe to be wearing that fur?
Can you believe it? It just seems so bizarre having him in the Wrath of Cortex of all games. I guess Mark Hamill just has a knack for appearing in disappointing sequels. Hey-oh! So, the next level is another castle-themed stage, and it's great, which is frustrating because it shows they can get this right if they actually try. Next level ain't too great though, it's another Coco stage, only this time the platform's a bit crap, and after a few minutes, you're slapped off this scooter and you have to run away from this bleeding tsunami. Bit unlucky really, but that's life isn't it? 1 minute you're just minding your own business, the next, you're scooting for your dear life. You know, it's just a good job that wooden door was there to stop that tsunami, or we'd be in some serious trouble. Well, remember everyone, next time there's a tsunami, just shut the door and ignore it, and hopefully it will just go away. A very good life lesson. This level also has an optional gem route, a harder section which focuses on precision platforming. Probably the hardest in the game actually, and dear lord, that's a pretty morbid dying animation. She just lays in the water, motionless. She's dead. Dead forever. Man, Crash is gonna be devastated. I can't believe this has happened. She's really dead, you guys. She was so young. Next station, and we're in a jeep. Whoa! But yeah, this isn't that good either. I mean, maybe if there wasn't already 30 vehicle levels before this, I'd be less harsh on it, but come on now. You're pushing your luck a bit, and getting over crates in this bugger is a bleeding nightmare. You can barely control this thing, and you can't even reverse, so if you do miss a crate, you gotta do the entire thing again. Takes bleeding ages. Yeah, you could go fast, but when you do, shit like this happens, and do you really wanna go through all that again every single time? The answer is no. No, you do not. And after all that, we're back in the bleeding ball again. Fucking hell. I think there's more platforming in Tetris than this. Look, it's a ball level. It's okay. You roll around dodging O's and shit. And Tiny's here too. Once a proud warrior, a killing machine, an absolute beast of a boss, is now reduced to this. Walking slowly, side to side, for the rest of his life. Pfft, what a loser.
Hope you brought your sunscreen, cause you're gonna burn.
Way ahead of you, mate, but thanks for the concern. It is a bit sunny today, actually. What a lovely fella that was. Anyways, on to the next level. And we're flying in a helipad now. I swear we're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks at this point. I mean, I wouldn't mind the variety if it was done well, but it's not. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be dodging here. Green lights? Or the, evil green lights, perhaps? I don't know, man. Creativity is definitely lacking here. But we do eventually get to play as Crash again, for a little bit. And it's okay if not a little repetitive. Starting to reuse assets a little bit too much here. This level also introduces a new crate, the invisibility crate. It turns you invisible for a few seconds, and that's about it. Problem is, it tends to run out at the most inopportune time ever, so it's kind of pointless. Not that it matters, because it only shows up one other time the entire game, so why even bother? This level also has a pretty cool X-ray section. Isn't that nifty? I like it when game developers do little things like this, but actually, it looks pretty terrifying. That's nightmare fuel right there, chaps, I'm telling you. The thing is, right, they didn't even put the effort in to do the same for this one guy here. It kinda ruins the entire effect, don't you think? There's only one enemy in this entire section, so why not just remove the enemy to keep the effect? You just ruined the whole thing, you dopey git. Next boss then, and it's Crush, again, and it's made from smouldering hot rocks this time. Just gotta dodge his attacks and run away for a bit. Well, it's a good off this water shooting mech just happens to be laying around, or we'd be in some real trouble. Don't you just love it when the one specific thing you need just happens to be laying in the middle of the road? 3 times no less. I guess some people have overlooked, don't they? On to World 4 then, and we're playing as Coco in a pretty mediocre platforming section. It's pretty much like the first level again, but not nearly as good. And a few minutes in, a bleeding avalanche tries to kill us. Well, that went from about 1 to 100 in a span of a few seconds. I'm telling you, Coco has the worst luck I've ever seen. First a tsunami, and now an avalanche. The world is out to kill her. I'd be scared to leave the bleeding house if I was her. But really, I'd take this over what's about to come anytime. The next level introduces these monkey bars, right? Now, in theory, this should be fun, right? Right? I mean, look at all the fun we're having. Climbing around at the speed of sound. Got places to go. Gotta follow my lead. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Get on with it, lad. This is just painful. Compare this to the previous games, and you basically glide across these things like it's nothing. Why couldn't they just do that? Seriously now, half this level is basically climbing these bleeding bars. Heck, it makes watching paint dry seem like an Olympic sport in comparison. And then there's this bugger. A giant wumperfoot shooting mech. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, it's not. You basically just have to stop and awkwardly aim at everything every few steps. And when it goes 2D, it's really a bugger to aim. You'd think you can just shoot right ahead of you, but no, it's a mess. The jumping's just bizarre too. If you run and jump, it's nice and smooth, but if you jump from a standstill, it's super slow and clunky. And you still die in one hit anyway, so it just feels like a massive handicap. So, this level was basically a minute of climbing super slowly and a painfully terrible mech section. And then, it ends with a weird disco ballroom for some reason. Has no connection to the level, but hey, who doesn't like disco? On to the next stage, and yet again, we're in a vehicle. Wanna guess what it is? Maybe it's a hovercraft, or that mobility scooter perhaps. It could be anything. But no, we're in a spaceship this time, chaps, and all you gotta do is go around shooting these, well, I don't know what they are, but we gotta shoot them. But be careful, because this ship has a habit of spontaneously exploding. I just shot this health balloon, I got plenty of health left, and I just blew up. Not what I expected, but okay. And it keeps happening too. I really have no idea what's going on. I think Coco needs to work on a spaceship a bit more. It's got a few kinks that need ironing out, you know. Mostly that one involving spontaneous death. So, let's follow up that crappy level with perhaps the worst level in the game. Another submarine stage. It's bad. Real bad. I'm having a feckin' anxiety attack over these mines over here. But the second you let down your guard, you die. I've been reduced to moving 1 mile per hour like a shriveling wreck at this point. This game has finally broken me, and the next stage isn't much better. Getting deja vu here, chaps. How many times are we gonna reuse these enemies? Is your budget running a bit low or something? Even those painfully slow monkey bars return. Game's really pushing it at this point, you know. World 4 is honestly just complete garbage. You got a mediocre Coco snowboard level, painfully slow monkey bars, this clunky boy, a glitchy generic space level, and one of the worst water levels I've ever played. It's just depressing. World 4 pretty much represents everything wrong with this game condensed into a single world. But we are not done yet. We've got another boss to beat first. And of course, you're in a plane. No surprise there then, is there? But, you know, at least it's kind of fun. It's basically a wannabe Star Fox boss. It does outstay its welcome though. I mean, it takes like 5 minutes to kill this bugger. And when you do kill him, it freaking explodes into a pile of bones. Bit morbid. Safe to say, he's probably dead then, right? Well, nope, because he's back in the next scene. Well, that's that then. If he can survive that, he's probably immortal. I mean, how can you get more dead than this? You might as well call it a day, Crash. It's not happening. You tried your best. But there's only one world left, so we might as well stick with it. And luckily, it's the best world in the game. Took you long enough. It starts off with this gem of a stage. Just look at this shit. A tropical island with an erupting volcano in the background, filled with relevant enemies that actually make sense. You got crabs, monkeys, parrots. This is the sort of stuff you'll want to see in a Crash game. Not sure what's going on with these parrots though. They fly up, spin around and kill themselves. I think this island has a suicidal parrot epidemic on its hands. These are endangered animals, goddammit. Won't someone save these beautiful birds before it's too late? Make sure to share this image to show that you care about endangered suicidal birds. Otherwise, you're just a piece of shit. There's also a spooky, scary skeleton just chilling here. Less scary than Crash's skeleton, mind you, but it's still spooky. Next level, and it's another unique stage. We're on the final world, and we've had a new volcano level, and now a new western one. Where were these levels earlier? Granted, those stupid monkey bars do return in full force here, but still, I'd rather feel the remaining years of my life slowly slip away than be in that blading submarine again. Next stage is another boss stage, and it is what it is. End trophy shows up, and it's just a bit sad really. How do you go from Spotlight villain to this? Poor guy. He could do with some help. If only more people cared about the well-being of villains. Share this image to show that you care about the... forget it. We're near the end now. Just got another terrible mech stage. This time with a chase sequence shoved in. No idea why we thought that would be fun, but here we are. And then there's the last stage, which is just some good old-fashioned Crash gameplay. Pretty much all your skills are put to the test here. It's pretty much the perfect final level. No complaints here. It even has this little cool section where you're given invincibility and you can just go nuts and blow everything up. It's great. And that's it. Time for the final boss. So, you face against Crush against all the masks at once. But really, they're all incredibly easy to dodge other than this one. The entire outcome of this boss purely remains on these falling rocks. You could be standing right where the rock spawns and immediately die, or you might not. The fate of the entire world depends on dumb luck. Just like real life really, but you know, this is pretty much the only other boss in the game which feels like an actual solid Crash boss with effort put into it. No balls, no mechs, no planes, just using all of Crash's abilities to win. It's a really solid final boss. So, after shooting Crunch, he punches Cortex for some reason. Not sure why, we're the one who just shot him. Anyway, we spin Cortex and win, and the ending please. And well, let's just watch this together, shall we?
Can't you ever let me win? What do you want from me, you cretin? Cortex! You realize that Crash may have collected all the crystals, but he doesn't have the gems. With the gems, we can resurrect the masks one last time and destroy that Bandicoot once and for all.
Well, that's gotta be the most jarring ending I think I've ever seen. You got a 20-second ending, and then a dancing disco dude. I mean, I know I said the intro was too long, but there's a nice middle ground, you know? At least we found out who that disco ball belonged to. Mystery solved. But you heard the man. Mask time to get all the gems. So, it's time to go back to each stage and break every single crate, and also get every single time relic in order to unlock the 5 bonus stages. So, have fun replaying every level again, including this one, and this one, And this one. Ah yes, such fun to be had. But I did it. I actually sat through and finished the game 100% just for you. Cause I like you a lot. And we unlock a secret world and 5 more levels to enjoy. Yay! So, let's quickly go over these, shall we? There isn't much to say really. The whole world feels like leftover assets. First one is almost an exact copy of the Gauntlet stage from earlier, only it's a bit darker and you play as Coco. It's very lazy and there's not much to say really. Second stage is a minecart race with Crunch, in which you can win the entire race by pressing absolutely nothing. Although really, you're gonna want to get over crates to get the gem anyway, so I'll let it slide. It's just a very dull and boring minecart level. It's easy, impossible to lose really, and it's over in a few minutes. It's lame. Next stage, and we're back on the helipack, but now we're racing a polar bear on a magic carpet, which is just a bit bizarre honestly. Fun fact, you can see this level and the polar bear in an old trailer, only you actually play as Crash and it looks 100 times better. I guess they ran out of time and just slapped together this piece of shit instead. You just know a game's starting to struggle when it makes you fly through a load of rings. They might as well have just had, we ran out of time, scroll across the screen, and then give you a gem. I'd admire the honesty at least. Next stage is a ball level. Again, did you like it the last 3 times? Well, then you'll probably like it this time. But now, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The final level. The super secret hard to unlock stage, which requires hours of work. Here we go. And it's a snowboard level. A slow, plodding, bland snowboard level. You know, they really did rush this final world, didn't they? This is just sad. This is the final ultimate challenge in the game. Don't even have a bleeding avalanche this time. It's absolutely tragic. Although, if you do happen to miss a crate, there's no checkpoint. So good luck doing all that again. What a depressing end to the game. All of these bonus stages are terrible gimmicky rush jobs that were probably slapped together quickly so there was some post-game content. But we got all the gems, so it's time to beat the final boss again and get the true ending. Would it be better than last time? Well, they really made us work for it this time, so it must be good. So basically, Uka Uka gets pissed, Crunch breaks out of his mind control and is immediately a good guy, the whole place blows up, we escape, we have a nice little chat, and Cortex is stuck on some ice. To be honest, compared to the other cutscenes in this game, that was basically Citizen Kane. Well, there we have it chaps, Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex. So how was it? Well, it's one of the weirdest games I've ever played honestly. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's just bafflingly bad. And sometimes, well, I don't even know what to call this. It's just a complete mishmash of ideas and none of it's done particularly well. In trying to make the game bigger and better and have more variety, it ended up having no identity other than endless vehicles. Out of the 35 stages, including the bosses, 25 of them have vehicles. They just went way too far. But all things considered, the game is not terrible. It's not good. It's just painfully average. I think our buddy Crash here sums it up perfectly. Don't worry, buddy. Cheer up. It gets better from here. Wait, forget that. You're pretty much fucked. I'm sorry, mate. And the patron of the week is Sonic Meerkat. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog, but a meerkat. It's genius. Original character, Do Not Steal.